In my hand, I hold the last 6 letters that need to be translated. Letters sent from a woman in Berlin to a man in New York City and then Chicago. A man who survived the Holocaust, who made his way from the concentration camps to Poland, then to Berlin, then to New York City, and then to Chicago. He kept these letters from this woman in Berlin a secret for all of his life. They weren't discovered until after he passed away and his daughters uncovered the letters and his belongings. I have been translating these letters for the last few months, and I don't know if I'm ready for them to end. Of course, I know what happens at the end. I know that Jack, this man, goes to Chicago and finds his bride, his wife. What happens to the woman in Berlin? Is she told about this other woman? Does she end things before then? I don't know, but I'm going to find that out today. It has been a roller coaster of emotions. I feel like I am emotionally invested in these letters. And what happens, what occurs, what unravels in the last 6, we're going to find out. So I'm going to translate these last 6 letters and then come back here to give you my reaction. I don't know if I need a box of tissues ready, if my brain can handle this, if my heart can handle this. We're going to find out. I finished them. And it's really sad. So, Pummel, her real name being Gerda, wrote to Jack week after week, day after day, for the whole year of 1947. And during this whole time, she's just telling him about her day. But mostly she's telling him about how much she misses him and walking by the theater that they used to go to, or walking by his window. And honestly, she really focuses her writing on how much she misses him. She asks how things are in New York City and what's his life like, and has he met new people, has he met friends, how is his English progressing, is he making money, is he doing okay, how is he? Occasionally she would write just a sentence or two alluding to his time in the camps, but naming nothing precisely, just more so things like, you know, all that you had experienced. And you can see during these letters how much love she has for Jack, her black devil, but also how sad she is because she's not there with him. She often writes how many letters that she writes him, and you know, she doesn't get that many letters in return. Has he found a new girl and things like that. You know, we have to remember that these are people in their early 20s. When Jack met his wife and got married, he was only 22. So you have these two people. We know Jack's experience during the war. As for Pummel, I have no idea what she was doing during the time of the war. She talks about her mother and another woman named Ermi. She never talks about a father, brothers, other family members. so I have no idea what her life was like during the war. But as her letters progress, as we get through 1947, you can see, especially towards the end of 47, that her letters become less and less to Jack, or Kuba, as his nickname is, Kuba. And then it just kind of comes to a halt around New Year's. And as we enter 1948, I can see in her letters that it's just not good. She has tried to get to America. It seems like Jack wanted her to come to America, but as she stated, let me find where she stated, oh, this brightness is crazy. But she stated that, in her words, you asked and wanted to know what the consulate said. Kuba, I already wrote to you that I can't do anything. I cannot state that I have the right to apply to leave the country. Have you already forgotten how difficult everything is here? In a previous letter, she wrote how she, would be a blind passenger, which means she can't go on a plane or on a ship to America because she has no paperwork. She has no passport. She has no legal documentation that would allow her to travel. And she also inserts, you'll have to find an American chubby person, because Pumel translated means chubby, so an American Pumel. But she'll just have to let you write. Otherwise, I won't have any fun anymore. So as I said, throughout these letters, she's just telling him how much she misses him, how things are different, how she wishes he was here with her. And then as we get into the beginning of 1948, the letters that she writes aren't once a week, aren't every few days. It's like once every so many months. And then in this last letter, June 3rd, 1948, it is crushing. At least for me, it's crushing because I feel like I know this girl. And I call her a girl because she really is. She's only in her early 20s, maybe late teens. And this man, this black devil, her Kuba, was her world. And so I guess I'll just read her last letter. It's Berlin, June 3rd, 1948. My dear Kuba Hart, I keep asking myself the question, why don't I get any more mail from you? I received the last letter on March 11th, and many weeks have passed since then in which I have thought so much about you but don't know how you are doing. I can't think of a reason that would make you stop writing to me. Kuba, dear friend, don't you know that I'm very worried? I had so much to say to you, but your silence takes away the courage to talk to you about everything in a letter. Because I tell myself, if you don't have time to write me a greeting, then you won't have time to be happy about a letter in front of you. I really don't know what to think anymore. After all of your lovely letters, a silence that I cannot explain. Please tell me what's going on because I think I deserve this. I can tolerate any honesty and understand everything, but you would disappoint me so much if you broke off contact with me without telling me the reason and without saying goodbye. I can't believe that either because I tell myself that sometimes you have time to send greetings to the people you enjoyed being with and who still love you today and tell them how you are doing. Even though you can no longer be tangibly close to me, your letters were a gift for me with so much joy, but you know that. I wrote it to you again and again, and yet you hurt me so much. Dear Black Devil, I await a reply to this letter. Dear, a sad Pumel is sending you many kind greetings and kisses today and hopes that she will receive news from you soon. Your Pumel. She never did. She never received another letter. I'm choked up. Of course, we know that Jack has found a new love in Chicago, that he got married and raised a family who also deeply loved him, much like Pumel did. And he kept these letters a secret. He didn't tell his family about them. He didn't tell his daughters about them. His daughters found them when going through his items after he passed away. So why didn't he write and tell Pumel that he found someone? I think his heart probably still loved her very much. He met her after the most horrendous things that someone could go through. And he may have kept it a secret for many reasons. She was a German girl. And perhaps he feared what people would think or what people would say. I think the fact that he kept them says something. That he loved her, and he probably felt very saddened to just stop communication. But there was no other choice. I guess tell her that he's met someone, even though she says all the time, oh, you know, maybe you'll have to find a new chubby American, or just be silent. What would be worse for Pumel? I don't know. From the letters, it's almost like a teenager writing to a first love. And I think it just shows the love that still occurred and happened even after such a time period as World War II. That out of the rubble of Berlin, out of all of the problems and the issues and the horrendous acts that occurred, that there were still people that had so much hope and so much love to offer. I often wonder what happened to Jack's letters. Did Pumel keep them? Did she put them away? Did she save them like Jack saved her letters? Or after not receiving them, did she throw them out? Did she burn them? Are they still hidden away in an attic somewhere in Berlin? Are they kept in a little box somewhere, waiting to be found and translated and read? The sad thing is, I do not have Pumel's last name. I have a first name. Is there a yellow phone book? Does Berlin have a phone book from 1947 that I can look up and look in and look for all the Gerdas? Wow. And I remind myself, and maybe this is going overboard, but for me, essentially, these letters have been kept for 77 years. And they were wherever Jack's daughter, Carol, found them. And no one knew what was written in them. Carol thought maybe there would be some lineage in there, and you know, she might have a brother or sister. You do not. But I was the first person that has read them since they were typed in 1948. It's funny because when Carol first sent me these, I expected these letters to hold all sorts of stories from Jack's time in the camps that he may or may not have told Pumel, and all, you know, Pumel's experience during World War II and what she was doing and what her family did, and there's none of that. Occasionally, as I said, Pumel would insert a few sentences here and there about, you know, what Jack had experienced, or she would write about what was going on in Berlin. But it became more so about just a girl writing to a boy that she deeply loved and cared for, and how much she missed him. You have this world war that brought these two people together, and then they become separated. And they share a common bond with each other for their experience after the war, finding each other in Berlin and just trying to figure out life after everything. Now, would Pumel have expected these letters to be read on a YouTube channel 77 years later? I don't think so. But that is the beauty of paper and ephemera, and what a typed letter, what this can hold. What is next? Well, I have to go back through my transcribed letters and make sure that a few sentences are correct. Some words and phrases didn't exactly translate, so I'll have to go back and redo them. I also want to do some historic fact checking, if you will. Pumel sometimes would write down the names of places such as theaters or events that were going on in Berlin. So I want to compare the history to her letters. And then I also will be needing to get a nice typed, printed copy of the transcribed letters out to Carol so that her and her family can read them and see Jack through Pumel's eyes. And after that, who knows? There'll be plenty of other updates. I would really like to make a nice hard copy of the letters so that perhaps others can enjoy them too. But I'll have to check with Carol on that one. I think they hold a lot of historic value, but also just emotional value as to that time period. And man, Pumel, if she could look back now and know that her letters were being read. An excellent writer though, so she doesn't have to worry about that. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this. I know that I did. And wow, I feel honored that I was able to read these letters and just experience life and love through Pumel's eyes. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And I will see you all next time for the next adventure here at Paper and Moose.